for me, it's a very show that talks about a lot of pain, or came from a lot of pain, and I want to understand how people get to a place where it is so painful, but then come out on the other side. When you think about like the addict, imagine calling and I didn't know that was abusive. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at that now like, yeah, that's abusive. I'm way more than that. You know what I mean? Even at your worst, you're even way more than that. You know what I mean? Or you're
always been way more than
yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
Always
so
been.
Yeah, you don't think like that. Welcome to Real Talk TV. I'm your host, Daryl Buchanan. Before I start anything, I like to give a few shout outs. I like to give a shout out to WMCT-TV, Alex, Ryan, Mike, and Matt. Thank you guys for what you do here. Without you, Real Talk TV wouldn't be in effect. I like to give a shout out to everyone on the front lines, man, out there being inspirations and sign of hope to people out there that might be struggling. I like to give a shout out to Recovery Connection on 31 Main Street, Marlboro. If you know anyone that's struggling or needs some help, resources, or just someone to talk to, come on down and see us. We'll be happy to help you guys with that. I also want to give you guys information about the event that's coming up. Haircuts, backpacks, and hot dogs. What we're trying to do is help the kids get back to school, encourage them, help them look good, give them some supplies to utilize to help them when they get back into school. We're having that event on August 30th. If you need any information, how to get involved, donations, any type of support, I'll put that up at the end of the show, and you can become involved with that. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my next guest. Let me explain. I met him at an event at the Bridge Recovery Center in Malden. We spoke. A lot of people spoke positive about him, and as you can see, you know, when I looked at his Facebook, he was always surrounded with positivity. People that came on the show spoke about him, and so I invited him on the show. He came in today, and so Real Talk TV is happy to have Duran MacArthur, Outreach Coordinator for Devine Recovery Center in Boston. Hey, Duran, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Daryl?
I'm good. Hi. Welcome to the show, man.
Dude, thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you, man. Just to start off, tell me a little bit about your environment and how you grew up.
So, like, looking back at my environment and how I grew up, like, I was enabled, right? Mm-hmm. My great-grandfather was the mayor of my city.
Wow.
My grandfather was treasurer at City Hall. My grandmother was his secretary. My other side of the family, my grandfather was the sergeant of the police department. So, like, I got away with murder, literally. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But, like, you know,
wow,
the principals, the vice principal, all my teachers in high school were friends of my parents. So, like, I never had to pay consequences for my actions at a young age.
Wow. And not only that, coming from that type of background, family background, and still get caught up.
Yeah, true.
Well,
it just took a while.
Yeah, but the disease don't care.
It don't
There's
care.
No respect
Oh,
where
no,
you
it don't
came
care.
from. But yeah, okay, cool. When did you begin experiencing with drugs?
So, like, you know, around 12 years old, smoking weed.
That's common.
And drinking alcohol. You know, I was attracted to those risk takers, those older kids. Yeah. Like, I thought that stuff was cool. So I wanted to do what they did to fit in. And I did what they did, man. And, like, the progression of the disease took over.
Wow. So when did it got worse and worse, and where did it end up?
Yeah,
where did it end up?
It led from alcohol and marijuana to cocaine to ecstasy to acid to mushrooms to pills. And then, like, I'm from that OxyContin era.
Wow. Yeah.
And like, I didn't know what dope sick was until, like, I was in the back seat of those older kids' cars throwing up, and they're laughing. I'm like, yo, what's so funny? They're like, you're dope sick. I'm like, what? And their disease had already progressed. They're like, here, try this.
Wow.
And, like, that was the same feeling I was looking for, and I wasn't sick anymore, you know?
Was that the bitter end? What did the bitter end look like?
The bitter end?
Yeah.
Oh, the bitter end lasted 20 years, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, after I progressed to, like, snorting heroin, I progressed to IV using heroin, something I never did. I was in the back seat with those same kids, and their disease had progressed once again. Mm-hmm. And we all threw in for something. And I'm like, yo, where's mine? They're like, oh, we forgot you sniff it. We threw everything in the cooker. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm sick. Go ahead.
Wow. So
and that's like how I got involved with using needles.
Yeah. So at the end, did you end up? When did you decide, or when did you know that you was caught up, that you had substance use disorder?
I just said I never, it took 20 years of pain, being in and out, because I never really wanted it for myself, right? I never really thought I had a problem. And I might have thought I had a problem with opiates, but I thought I could use other substances, right? I thought I could just drink. I thought I could just smoke weed. But like every time I put a substance in my body, it might not be right away, but it leads me back to shooting heroin.
That's a fact. That's a fact with me also. So did you go to detox?
Yeah, I've been to multiple detoxes.
So you didn't get it the first time?
No, no. I wish I did, man. But I went to detox because, like, the court system wanted me to go to detox. Yeah. I went to detox because my family wanted me to go to detox. I didn't go to detox because I wanted to go to detox.
So when did you go for you?
This last time around, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened? What was it like?
The pain was just great enough, like they said. Like, I remember just being in my living room in a dark, smoky-filled room on a couch by myself, like contemplating, do I want to live? If this is life, just take me now, because I didn't know if I wanted to live or I wanted to die, man. You know what I mean?
The end looks like that. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. You know, it was all fun and games in the beginning.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah, until it wasn't. Until it wasn't.
I remember at the end for me, I remember finding myself on a bridge, and I wanted to die. My mom had just passed. The person that cared the most for me didn't care what I looked like, what I smelled like, or always opened the door for me. And that was the end. I had no, like you said, I was alone with nobody. I got on a bridge, and I wanted to jump off the bridge. And I remember having the stem, and I pushed the stem, and I thought after I pushed it, I'll just jump. And my disease said, go get one more. And I think that's what saved me, because I was really like
about to jump.
Really bent on. I was done, bro. I was really, really like done. Good stuff. So tell me, what are some of the challenges you face getting clean?
A lot of challenges. One of my biggest challenges was like getting away from my neighborhood and my old friends, because I was that closed-minded neighborhood kid. If you weren't from my neighborhood, I wanted nothing to do with you.
Wow.
So every time I went to treatment, or every time I got released from prison, I went right back to my neighborhood, right back to my old friends, right? And because that's all I knew. And there wasn't recovery centers. There wasn't recovery centers back then. No. So I didn't have a place where I can go connect with the recovery community. The only place I could connect with was a meeting, and I was disconnected going into a place to connect, you know?
That's crazy. That's crazy. So tell me, how has your life changed since you've become sober?
Miraculously, you know what I mean?
Talk about it a little bit.
I'm responsible, reliable. I'm a son again. I enjoy waking up in the morning. I'm full with gratitude, and I truly believe like having gratitude is your attitude. And like I'm in a relationship. Like I wasn't in a relationship for 20 years. I might have thought I was, but in my head, but it wasn't a real relationship. Like I'm able to have a girlfriend. I'm able to be a son. I'm able to be a brother, an uncle. Like all these things. I thought I was, but I was never there.
Good stuff. Yeah, I get that. So tell me, how did you decide to become an outreach coordinator in a treatment center?
Well, I didn't decide.
They chose you.
This guy decided for me. Yeah. And it's kind of a crazy story, because like when I was in, I'm a graduate of the Gavin House. And when I was in that house, I'm like, my disease was like, I'll do my 6 months, graduate, and I'm out. You know what I mean? And like the director of that he kept asking me, are you going to go the 3/4? And I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I remember one night he came up to my room, and he's like, yeah, pack your stuff. You got to go finish your rest of your stay down the 3/4 house. And I was like, why? And he's like, I got a guy coming from the can tomorrow, and I don't have a bed for him. And I know how it is to be in the can and about to get released, so I'm not going to take that opportunity away from that gentleman. And like I got down there and overcame all those little fears, you know what I mean, a change. I was top dog in the house, like all these things. And I went back. There was just put it this way, there was no guy coming from the can for my bed. Like he helped me overcome those fears.
Wow.
And it was like the best decision that was made for me, because I truly believe today, like the longer you're in treatment, the better off you are.
Good stuff. So you went there, you went to the 3/4 house.
Yep.
And what happened after that?
So then I talked to you about the license thing on my way in, right? I was comfortable not having a license for 20 years because I didn't leave my neighborhood. And I finally got my license. I got a Cadillac, and I picked up the phone. Because I knew if I didn't have a license, I wasn't hopping on the bus and the train after work to go from Everett to South Boston to stay connected to the house, to stay connected to the recovery community, to stay connected to my network. And those are three major things that I needed to stay connected to.
Got you.
And once I got my license, you know, I called and said, yeah, I'm not going to be back. I'll see you this weekend to grab my stuff, you know.
When you were out.
And I was out.
So what happened? So how'd you get back to the place where
So the director of the program had called me. He's like, you know, we really like what you're doing. Are you interested in running a couple groups at the house?
Okay.
I said, yeah. So I had to go take a class at the recovery center.
Okay.
While I was at the recovery center.
At the bridge? Or this?
No, at Devine.
At Devine, I got you.
So at Devine, they called me in the office and they're like, hey, how about work full-time at Devine as outreach coordinator? And I was taking a pay cut, but like, it's not about the money for me.
Outreach is dope.
Yeah, I love it. And it gives me purpose, man. You know what I mean? It gives me purpose.
You're on the front lines. You're on the front lines. When you're on the front lines and you meet, you know, you run into people and, you know, and I mean, there's some that are resistant, but when you run into someone that is really desperate and you can take them from that tent or wherever it is for me, the tent, you know, into your office or whatever, and then see them getting it back of transportation going into treatment. And nothing like that feeling going home.
I've ran into like girls, men that I went to high school with, right? That never had drug problems in high school. I did. You know what I mean? I did. And they see me on the other side and they're over here. They're like, wow, you made it? We thought you'd be dead by now.
Yeah.
And they're like, in their head, they're probably like, if this kid can get clean, I can.
It's a powerful sign.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Tell me. So, what is your role? In as far as outreach there, the goals and like your main responsibilities.
So my goal is to attract people to the recovery community at Devine. Okay. You know what I mean? And we have Sunday. I do that with like food and fellowship. Like Sunday dinner with Duran's a big thing that I do over there.
Over at Devine.
Because like I'm a graduate of NECAT, which is a cooking school.
Okay.
Like that we offer. Like while you're in those houses, you know what I mean. You could take it. You get a stipend. You know what I mean, to take it, learn a skill.
So tell me a little bit about Devine. Tell me, I mean,
for like my experience with it,
what they got going on there. What do they? How are their services and what are they?
Oh well, they do ATR. You know what I mean. Any service, if you need a detox, you could just walk in the center. If you need a detox, if you need a cell phone, any type of services, you know what I mean, are available right there. If you needed a halfway house, if you just it's a recovery like the recovery center. Okay, I just got that wrong. I'm thinking it was like a 6-month program. Oh no, that's the Gavin house.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but Devine is like just
it's a drop-in center, just like this, man. Yeah.
Got you. All right, cool. Okay, let me ask you another question. In your opinion, what are the most important aspects of effective outreach support? Meaning, what is the most? How do you
connect?
And what is the most important? When you go out, what is the most important objective you have when you go out to outreach? And I mean, when I go out, it's to build this resource. My thing is build the community, let the community know that we ain't monsters. That's like when I go out, that's one of my main things. I mean, it goes to help people, but I also want to let the community know we are not monsters, and I represent.
So the community knows we're there if they need us, and they're always calling us like, oh, can you help us set up for this event? Oh, we got a truck full of diapers at the Ollie. Oh, can you help? Every Wednesday we help at St. Monica's Soup Kitchen, and it's a church.
So your community is really supportive.
Yeah, and we support our community also.
Out here, this community is not
See,
like
it's
that.
like already set up like that. It was already set up like that.
It was already set up. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. So how do you handle situations where individuals are resistant?
I mean, all I could do is just offer like how I got through that situation and be an open ear for them to listen to them. Okay. You know, I don't like confrontation. You know what I mean? So I stay away from confrontation. If they think they're right, I let them think they're right. You know. And
they stay in that same position. Right?
That's it. Like
before I go on, I just wanted to just read something to you.
Cool.
You probably know where this is from. It says, connection is the key. Duran is the representation of that statement. No matter who you are, where you are from, or what your past experiences are, Duran will leave you feeling connected. I love the passion Duran has for recovery, but especially for peer recovery. I watched him take a recovery center that was stagnant and dull to a place that people want to go, that brings community attraction. I am grateful for Duran and his enthusiasm to bring people together and celebrate the gift of sobriety. Alone I can't, but together we can. Keep up the great work, Duran. Love you.
Blake.
You better get this one right.
Oh, man. Who
You better
is?
get it right.
Carrie Ann?
yeah.
Yeah. Carrie Ann. All right, let's do that again. Can we reboot that?
Shout out to Carrie Ann. Thank you for that. Nah, that was kind of dope. And you know what I mean?
No, Carrie. Well, I'll tell you a quick story about
Okay.
Carrie Ann. So, like, when I first started coming around, I didn't really know what centers was. I just started attending the Devine. Then we attended this Thanksgiving event at the bridge. And I dressed up. I always dress up, right? I had a three-piece suit on. And she's like, oh, my God, did you know, like, you were getting the award? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you know. I'm like, nah, I don't. They gave me like, what was it called?
So I was in the sober house with a woman that had passed away.
Okay.
And it was in memory of her. And it was a volunteer coordinator or something?
Something like that.
Award in her name.
For the work that he does.
Like a Community Excellence Award. That's what it was called.
And I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Because I went to that bridge, and the only people that I knew at the bridge was Carrie Ann and Tara.
Yeah.
And you made your way and introduced yourself. So, you know what I mean? Out the blue. So that was you know what I mean? So I can attest to
but
that
like
too.
the things I do,
Yeah.
like Carrie Ann inspired me. I got my ideas from her.
Yeah.
Just watching her. Like, she inspires me
She
to
keeps
do
it
what I
moving,
do.
right?
It's just the way, like, you know, like I talked about pictures, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you went into the bridge, you would see all the pictures of the community hanging there. And I used to say to myself, how can I be a part of that? Until I was a part of that.
Good stuff. Yeah, no,
And,
she's great. She is great. She's
Carrie Ann's a big part of why I do what I do.
great. Give her a shout out.
Carrie Ann, I love you. I miss you.
Cool. All right, how about this? Duran, you're a great guy and a huge power and example in our community. Keep growing, my brother. You are saving lives on a daily basis. I'm proud to call you my friend.
This is a guessing game.
No, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
just kidding.
These are beautiful things.
I
man.
know.
When people, you know, sometimes you know what it is, Duran.
I don't realize what I do and how
There
I
it is.
affect
And so
people.
what I do is I want you to see that
That's
how
right.
people
No,
see you.
no, I love
we see
it.
ourselves one way, and the person say, "Oh,
No.
the dude's saving people's lives, right?"
No, that's crazy. Can you read that again?
Because we might say it, but when somebody else says it,
It means,
they're telling you what they see. You know what I mean?
and we might not see that in ourselves.
Yeah. Duran, you're a great guy and a huge power of example in our community. Keep growing, my brother. You are saving lives on a daily basis. I'm proud to call you my friend.
Who?
Sean Higgins.
How'd you know?
I read it.
Oh.
See, you don't
Oh,
read
it's on my Facebook thing. Yeah.
I go. That's what I do. I look for stuff and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So me and him went through the house together,
Okay.
the Gavin house together. I stayed clean. He didn't. He ended up going back into treatment, and like we reconnected, and like now he's an employee for the Gavin Foundation. He works at the Hamilton House
Wow.
also.
So he's doing his thing, and maybe.
And he followed like
Follow
what
your
I
footsteps.
did. He reconnected to me once he got to treatment again, and
So he's giving you some props, though. That was
I
cool to see.
appreciate it. I
About
love
this.
Sean.
This guy's going places, approachable, humble, and not scared to grow. His empathy touches my community. It makes it better. Thank you, Duran MacArthur. You're truly saving lives out here.
Loretta, Miss Loretta.
Kind of dope. That's dope stuff. And the reason why, like I said, it's good for you to hear that. You know what I mean? A lot of times, you know, we come from a past that all negative. I know at the end, my name was Get the Fuck Out, right? And that's what everybody said to me. And to hear somebody say, D, you're doing a good job today. In the beginning, I couldn't accept it. You know what I mean? I'd always like try to pick it apart. And now today, if somebody say you're doing a good job, I kind of embrace it and accept that and use this energy. And that's all I was really just letting you see what other people.
No,
were
I
thinking.
appreciate
You know what I
that,
mean?
man. I appreciate
All right,
that.
now back to us. Is it a disease or a choice?
It's definitely a disease.
Tell me why.
'Cause
In
you
your
have-
opinion.
For me, it's a disease because I had no control. Once I put that substance in my body, I have no control. I can't have a choice. Even when I take the substance out of my body, I have no choice. I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? I have to work on my attitude, my actions, and my behaviors. Because when I'm using my attitude, my actions, behaviors, just think 20 years of using and abusing drugs.
Yeah.
And all those behaviors and your attitude and your actions when you're using those for 20 years. You got to change all that stuff too. You know?
Exactly.
It's a lot of work.
No, it is a lot of work. And you're right, you put down the drugs. And you know, one thing that my sponsor said before, he said, Darryl, if you have a drug problem, then you're probably not an addict. It took me a long time to understand that. Because when I put the drugs down, I picked up the credit card, I put that down, I picked up the weights, I put that down, I picked up the women. And it's just because I didn't work on anything.
Yep.
So I wasn't, you know what I mean? And at the end, he said another thing to me. He says, because I used to run crazy in the meetings. He said, man, it's not about how many women you can get down. That's immature. When you're mature, it's about how many you can stay away from. Right? So it's all, like you said, it's all about these behaviors. And I see it a lot, that a lot of people have a lot of years, but not enough days around here. You get what I mean, Duran?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, no work, just a lot of time, but no work. And you can see the work, you can see it's spiritual. Because once it happens, it motivates you to save lives. It motivates you to go out.
This wasn't in my plans.
No,
You know what I mean?
But maybe the gratitude in your spirituality, maybe the gratitude. If you're grateful, you're going to go look for other people.
Definitely.
If you remember what it's like, you're going to go help other people.
Absolutely.
It's
And
when we forget
that's
that.
part of being of service, like something
Yeah.
I learned going through the steps. Like
It's probably the
being
best
of
thing in the world,
service.
man, is being of service. Good stuff. What are your thoughts about multiple pathways? We talked about
Multiple
a little bit.
pathways, like at first, I'm like, what's this multiple pathways thing? Right? Until I attended a multiple pathways conference and I was asked to speak at this multiple
You had to
pathways
speak- and you didn't know
conference.
nothing.
So I had to like do some research
Yeah.
on multiple pathways. And so I came to believe like whatever pathway works for you, whatever pathway keeps you away from a drink or a drug on a daily basis, cool. You know what I mean? And I like to try different things. I like to try a Buddhist meeting. I like to go to an NA meeting.
And you don't want to be stuck. I mean, you can, you know, I mean, not against any program, but if you, like, there's evolution. I believe there's evolution in our process. You know, we evolve, things change, meaning like what I did a year ago for my recovery is really not what I do today. Some people say it's the same thing, and that's good for some people. But for me, it's like you said, I can do this, I can do that, and if tomorrow I wake up, then I can do X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter what I do, as long as I'm doing something for my recovery, right?
Definitely.
And you add in, and so when I go to meetings, and there's certain meetings, I'm not going to say them on TV, obviously, but when I say I'm in recovery or I hear people say they're on MATs, people are mad at that we're talking about stuff like that in certain meetings.
Well,
I mean, meaning that's still not fully acceptable in a lot of places.
I don't like to like talk about the MAT thing. It's
I
like
mean,
kind
that's
of a touchy subject.
It is.
But for me, through my experience, if it works for somebody, great.
Yeah.
If it keeps them away
Yeah.
from a drink or a drug, great. But my experience, and this is only me and
Yeah.
my experience that I'm talking about, is like I had to be completely off everything.
Yeah, and
Because
I get that.
of that mental obsession, right? I remember being on Suboxone, right? And I remember I forgot it at my house, and I was an hour away on my way to work. And I said, oh, shit, I forgot my Suboxone. I got to go home. I'm going to be sick.
Yeah.
Like, what a freedom it is not to think like that
Yeah.
anymore, you know?
No, it is, and it's a process, and like you said, congratulations to you. But I believe there are, you know, like, for me, I'm supporting anything that keeps a person
Fact.
healthy one day at a time. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? As long as they're not breaking no laws and,
Yeah.
and hurting the community or hurting people. And I think we have to get to that place where, you know, our freedom, we want that same freedom for everyone else, no
Everybody,
matter what, no
definitely.
matter what it is.
And,
So
and that's why it's like a touchy
it is
subject
touchy,
for
but
me to
the
talk
reason why we
about.
have to keep
Yeah.
talking about it, the reason why I keep bringing it up, because I want us to keep having that dialogue.
Yeah, true.
There are people hear and people see it and see that we're able to have that dialogue and we're able to say, yeah, I don't care what you're on. And people, I'm telling you, I run into people on the street like, nah, I don't go to meeting. They don't allow, I'm still using Suboxone or I'm still on this. I'm like, dude,
Well,
I
as
don't
far
care.
as like attending meetings and like taking, I don't think there's a problem with
Yeah,
that.
dude,
But there are people in the
we're
halls
still
that
faced
do.
with a lot of stigma.
It's just like I couldn't get it till I was clear-minded enough.
For
up
you,
here,
yeah, I get it.
you know?
No, it is, and there's some people, and I think I'm that person too, that I have to leave everything alone. You know what I mean? In order to, go forward. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I also know I run into a lot of people during outreach, and then, and just dealing with people.
Oh, without a doubt,
that-
there's a multiple number
yeah,
of people
it's
that
just
are
so
on
much,
MAT.
and so how we embrace them, how do I
They
embrace
should
them?
maybe create like an MAT meeting, like a meeting like MAT Anonymous, or
Yeah.
maybe they
But
feel
what-
more comfortable going there.
Yeah, and maybe we'll exclude him if we did that. Maybe.
I know.
You
You
know what I'm
never
saying?
know.
If
I was
we-
just throwing it
no,
out
no, I'm
there,
not saying
you know,
no.
yeah.
Maybe I think we want to try to be all inclusive, and like us, in recovery, we have to we self-stigmatize a lot. There's another meeting I go to that if you say you relapsed or you had a reoccurrence or a return to use, that they look at you, they kind of like tell you to get the hell out of there.
Really?
Literally. Call you a pussy and all that if you say you
That's crazy.
So how the next guy, right? How do you go and lift your hand up? And I'm talking, this is a prominent meeting in this
admit
area.
to, like,
a
yeah.
prominent meeting in this area.
Yeah, so they make it difficult for you to like even
You
go in
can't go
there
back.
and say you relapsed.
If you had an issue,
yeah.
no one's lifting their hand there. No one's saying that they had, certain issues. You know what I mean? No one's speaking about what really happened to them because you can't, right? We still cover up, right? We're sick as our secret. So if I can't go in a meeting, and I don't do it at every meeting, but there's some meetings that I go to, and I'll talk about being abused as a kid, sexually abused. I mean, I'm free. It doesn't bother me anymore. It used to. I think that kind of fueled my addiction a
Yeah.
lot, but I found freedom in it. And I need to go where I can just be honest. And people say, well, you can go to the priest for that. And you can, I need to be honest wherever I need to be honest, right? You talk and things come out. We just, in a lot of places that we go, that we create in the recovery, the freedom is limited. You know what I mean? Because we self-stigmatize. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
Well, I went through a similar thing. Like not
Have you
even with
experienced
MA.
it?
Yeah, like I was in a AA based house, right? And I was doing NA, and the guys in the house used to be like, "Oh, what do you go to NA for the hugs?" Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, come on.
We do that.
Yeah.
And we do that. And instead of just saying, well, you know what I mean? That's good. We do that. Good stuff. Tell me, what are some of the common misconceptions or stereotypes that you've ran into about recovery?
Like about recovery,
Yeah,
about that, like the fellowships. Like sometimes I'll go to NA meetings and there'll be a newcomer that doesn't know how to use the terminology and they'll say like alcoholic, and these people will jump down their throat, and like that makes me uncomfortable, like or vice versa. Like AAs, they don't. I don't see it as much as NA's like kind of gun ho, but I think any fellowship, whatever works for you, I do them all. You know what I mean?
Cool. Okay, let me ask you, how can society better support us or those in recovery in reducing the stigma associated with addiction? Do you believe there's a stigma?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Do you believe that we?
I think it's getting better though.
Do you? I was going to ask you.
I do. I think people
what
are
ways?
starting to understand, like, because it affected so many people and so many people indirectly, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's people's sons, daughters, cousins, uncles, aunts. I think everybody in America has a family member that's touched by
I agree
addiction.
too. I agree.
At this point, in time, and it's like, so people are more capable to understand, like, these were good people. They just made bad decisions and got caught up,
Right.
and they're not all bad people. You know what I mean?
Cool. All right, so we got through that. So now you have. Do you want to give any shout outs before we do?
I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the recovery community, everywhere. Because, like, alone I can't, but together we can. Shout out to Carrie Ann. Thank you for inspiring me to do what I do. Shout out to Blake. Thank you for being a leader in the recovery community. Shout out to Orlando. Shout out to Ricky. Shout out to my girl Lisa over there.
Yes, she is.
Just shout out to everybody, man, that takes this serious. Shout out to everybody that's trying to inspire the next addict, alcoholic, trying to get a day clean. Shout out everybody. everybody that's putting work in the recovery community, because we need this. Look at the streets. It's getting bad out there. There's all these crazy drugs I never even heard of, right? And, like, we need your help more now than ever. So, like, I'm a big together we can guy. So, like, let's come together on this. Let's bring everybody together, because I'm all about community. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff. All right, let me just, before anything, Duran is doing his thing in the name of recovery, growing and setting a healthy example of how it works. His position of authority is respected and appreciated by me and many others. These platforms will get bigger as we continue on this journey. We must continue to stand shoulder to shoulder, bring our varied skill sets to the table with an open chair for those coming behind us. Word.
Blake, he got that word going at the end.
Blake, yeah, it's good to have you. I mean, you have anything you want
You
to say?
want to say anything, Lee?
You good?
No, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for giving Duran the opportunity.
Anytime. That brother can come back anytime. You know what I mean? You guys, there's other things, man. Like I said, there's things down at work. People talk really big about them, and that's good stuff, man.
Important work that we're doing.
Yes, it is.
And raising awareness is also very important. I'd like to contribute to getting rid of the stigma.
Cool. You're welcome to come to the show. If he can bring you back. We have boom, like the 23rd. So if you let
Sign
me know,
her up.
You let me know if you want to. The 23rd can come back. You guys can come back.
Definitely.
And we do it. It goes fast. It seemed like it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
No, I had a little pushback and it still came fast. You know what I mean?
But no, you did well. So we'll come back. If it's the 23rd, we have Rob G, then I have these two brothers, then I have
Cool.
her.
Cool.
But next week, I'd like for you to go on Area and Addiction if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll get in touch. Thank
All
you,
right,
brother,
cool.
again.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Always
you
a
coming.
pleasure, man.
Thanks to everybody in his life that's supporting him. Thanks to Devine Recovery.
Gavin Foundation.
The Gavin Foundation. Cool. Thank you for tuning into this powerful episode of Real Talk TV. We delved into the depth of addiction, the weight of stigma, and the inspiring journey of recovery. Before we part ways, let's take a moment to reflect on the impact we can create together. Substance use disorder is a relentless adversary that affects millions across the globe. It is not limited to a specific gender, age, or background. It can touch anyone. Through our candid conversation today, we've shed light on the harsh realities faced by those battling this disorder. We've confronted the stigma that surrounds this struggle, recognizing that understanding, compassion, and empathy can break down barriers that prevent healing. We want to extend a heartfelt reminder that substance use disorder is a disease, not a moral failing. We must replace judgment with support and condemnation with encouragement. By doing so, we can help individuals seeking recovery find hope and strength on their path to reclaiming their lives. As we move forward, let's actively challenge the stereotypes and misconceptions surrounding substance use disorder. Education and open dialogue are vital in creating a more inclusive and compassionate society. It's time to break the chains of stigma and embrace those in recovery with open arms. We encourage everyone watching this show to support local organizations and initiatives that aid in substance use recovery. Each one of us can make a difference through volunteering, donations, or even just being a caring and non-judgmental friend to someone in need. Remember, real talk sparks real change. We hope today's episode has ignited a fire within you to drive this change forward. Together we can build a world where substance use disorder is met with understanding, where stigma is replaced with compassion, and where recovery is celebrated as a triumph of the human spirit. Thank you for being a part of this important conversation. And until next time, let's continue to have the courage to talk openly, listen without judgment, and make a positive impact on the lives of those affected by substance use disorder. Stay strong, stay compassionate, and keep spreading real talk.
Yeah.
Peace. And like I say, always
Good
say in the
job,
ending,
brother.
I want to say I love you to my daughter Taisha, little Daryl, and Zayla. Peace. Good job. Good job. Watching you still on the thing.
All right.
Good job. Huh? It did go well. Huh? You love Jesus?
That's right. You signed up.
Yo, you do. Hey, you need to do more interviews, bro, right? All right.